But I don't think we touched it.
I thought we did.
Some of these
I don't
are
know.
funny.
Speaking of touching it, though, welcome back to Five's a Crowd.
I like what you did there.
Naughty. I don't want to ask.
We are your 5 favorite guys. We got Cam, Chris, Austin, Zach, and myself, Tony. Today we are going to do a little bit of Reddit, specifically some Ask Reddit.
You pronunciate.
What?
You pronunciate.
Yeah.
Ask Reddit?
Leave it to Zach. So I forgot what episode it was in. We were doing a little bit of Reddit. We came across a question that we thought would be fun to hold off onto kind of its own episode. So we're going to do that, but we're also going to branch off, probably do a couple other Ask Reddits. We'll see what we get into.
It's going into the weeds, that's for sure.
I was going to say, hang on tight. This one's going to be fun. We'll see where it goes. There may be a disclaimer needed to be said on this one. We'll see what we get into.
Yeah, no little ears, please, just in case.
You never know.
Not safe for work. Use earbuds or something like
I'm
that.
not safe for children.
Chris,
Please don't say that ever.
Just my child. I'm okay with my child.
Whoa, that's not better.
You guys are perverts. We didn't say it. They know what I meant. Do they?
Do they?
I don't know. Do they? I'll get a comment.
What, do you work for Disney?
Oh!
There. Now I take the comment.
Boom. Boom.
You're not a priest.
Have you met Tony?
All right. So I'm going to dive right into this here. So this question is from Ask Reddit. It was by him. Hi, man. Shub.
It's by someone on Reddit.
I don't know. I tried. So it says, Men of Reddit. What's something every guy should know but is rarely taught? Any come to mind right off the bat?
Take a deep breath before you say what you're going to say. Sometimes.
Why? So you have enough air to get it all out?
No, so you can calm yourself down.
Maybe take a walk.
No, breath works for me. And if it doesn't, then I have to go take a walk because I get kicked out of the house.
Oh my gosh.
But for real, though, if you know you're going to say something and you're angry, you're going to say something to make the other person angry, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
Just take a moment to
Right.
center yourself.
Think a little more.
Right. Like Johnny Depp said, I walked away to take a moment.
I feel like that's advice
back to
for
a pile of
anybody.
poop.
I feel like that's advice for anybody.
Right.
If you
But
think
men-
you thought it out, think some more.
Here's the thing, though. We tend to... Guys don't... I think guys tend to have thicker skin to a degree. So what you might say to another guy that they'd be like, oh, yeah, you're a dick. You could ruin your wife's day or your kid's day or anybody. You know what I mean? So just take a moment, think about it, take a deep breath and be like, okay, how can I articulate this better?
I gotcha.
Say something profound. You know?
Easy,
Doesn't
buddy.
it have the opposite effect on you?
You want to make my eyes roll in the back of my head, say something super profound.
Equals MC squared.
So I had one that I forgot how old I was when I was finally taught this. And it was one of the first comments. He kind of talks about it a little bit, but shaving around your Adam's apple. I remember.
Okay.
I thought you were going
better.
somewhere else
Right.
with that.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
That's why I said, if you think you thought about it, think some more.
Because I remember. That's good. I don't know. I was high school age. I can't remember where, but it was my mom's boyfriend at the time that taught me you can kind of grab the skin and pull it to the side, and you shave, and then you pull it to the other side and shave, and then you don't even have to really go over the Adam's apple at all.
I always just sucked my tongue to the back of my throat and lifted my head up.
See,
I
that's
really
what,
don't have that problem because I really don't have like a profound Adam's apple.
Neither do I.
You said
Neither do I.
Yes.
See, this guy said swallow and hold when shaving the hair on your Adam's apple. So
What's that got to do with shaving?
That's the same thing as sucking your tongue to the back of your throat.
Yeah.
It pulls your Adam's apple in, so it's not like a big bump right there.
But I really don't have.
Yeah, mine never stuck out. You
I
know,
just
like
think-
there's
yeah,
some
like,
dudes that like
I just
that thing
shave.
sticks out
Like
like
that?
an
Is
old
mine-
woman's knee.
Does
Yeah.
mine stick out
Yeah, yours
know what I'm
sticks
talking
out.
like
I know
this?
exactly what you're talking about.
see, I feel like,
Francine, is that you in there?
I feel like I gotta.
Judith?
You've got a good Adam's apple.
Yeah, you got a good one.
That means it's a sign of high testosterone. Which is complete bullshit.
There's some all men should be taught. All statistics are made
Right.
up.
Also, yeah.
All statistics and facts are made up.
Somebody's statistics is
89%
somebody
of them,
else's
to be
fault.
exact.
Yep, exactly.
Right. I was thinking of the shave thing. You pull your nutsack down to shave your balls. Right?
See, with that being said,
It's true.
one thing I had to learn the hard way is if you do decide to shave down there for the first time,
Right.
don't shave against the grain. That hurts.
Oh, but it's so much smoother.
Oh, it sure is. And you can work your way to it. But for the first time, don't.
I got rhino skin. I don't even use shaving cream. I just
You should use a freaking grinder.
straight edge.
He's got a grinding wheel
I
set up
scare
in his
them in
shower.
I scare those hairs into submission. Is what I do.
You got a
just jump
grinding
out of his
wheel
skin.
set up in a grinding wheel and a polishing wheel set up in your shower
Yes,
for
sir.
those balls of
Yes,
steel
sir.
you got.
It's one of those old stone ones that you have the pedal, so he's just like pedaling.
No, the balls bail. They go up to that special place you guys talk about when you put your leg up.
Told you. Just leave the skin out.
That I have no idea about still.
I don't know about that special place either.
You guys
so
haven't
it's
tried.
okay.
You haven't tried.
When you're all done, it like glistens like chrome. It's like
It's like Lex
Spit
Luthor's
shine and you
dome.
see your reflection in it.
Like Jeff Bezos' head. Is what it looks like.
Look down. I
That's
see
my
that.
$1 billion baby.
I see that like you're looking down at your reflection like ka-chow.
Ciao.
But hey, it's honestly a good thing of information. If you're gonna do that, stretch it out so you don't
Talking
catch a
about the
wrinkle.
balls?
That
See,
reminds
I
me.
don't stretch mine out.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I do. I pull
It
up,
reminds me
pull
of that
down.
Owen Wilson thing. He's like when he's being Avada-kedavra. It's Voldemort being played by Owen Wilson, and he's like, this guy's acting like
Wow.
Owen Wilson. He's like,
Wow.
"Gonna get you with the ka-chow." Little joke there. Avada-kedavra. Oh, just kidding.
What?
I need to watch
I
that.
feel like
That
I'm
sounds
missing out
great.
on life. Yeah.
I don't know why this one popped into my head, but just still on the subject of grooming. Don't clip your toenails in like an arch. At least not too much, because you'll get ingrown toenails.
Yeah.
At least for me, it's the big toe. I got to make sure I leave a little
my-
bit of an edge on the big toe.
The big toe and the next one in has this like on my toes at least.
They're stupid, man.
They are dumb. They're like flat, kinda. Like I got my dad's feet, and like, but the innermost side of that toenail like curves down, and so yeah, if I trim it like too much, straight up freaking ingrown toenail, and they
Yeah.
hurt so bad.
I've
I want to rip the whole thing off.
to fix an ingrown toenail is use what's it called? Not isopropyl alcohol. What's the other one?
Hydrogen peroxide.
That's the
I
one.
use that.
Dude, that stuff works magic on ingrown.
Really?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I remember my grandma would prevent ingrown toenails by putting dental floss. Like between her nail and the skin, she would just kind of wrap a little bit of dental floss right there, and it just kind of forces the nail to start growing up.
Oh, that's smart.
Like she leaves it in, like her sock.
I couldn't do it.
Just
That's
a little
not a
bit.
bad idea.
But
I've never had an ingrown
Here's the
toenail.
I
And
never
I cut
had
mine,
either.
and I
but
cut mine round.
I
Got
got
mine round two.
Do you?
Although
Yeah, you just have to like what he's saying is you just have to leave the edge of the toenail past
don't.
the skin.
Because like when I cut, I'll cut and then I have to like pull the toenail out on the side because it's like in the side a little bit, and I just pull it.
So I had one a little while ago actually, It was so nice because I've gotten ingrown toenails so much that the doctor actually went in and he like deadened some of the nerves or whatever. So they're not supposed to do that anymore.
Ew.
But occasionally it does go in, but it was actually nice on this one. I cut it all the way down and I thought I got it all out, but I got like half of it out and it was still kind of hurting. Ugh. And there was one day I just grabbed a pair of tweezers and I kind of dug under and I kind of did a little flick up and this whole toenail just comes ripping out.
Shut him right
It
in the
was
eye.
like it was the coolest thing. Like it was just came out from underneath the skin. It stuck on the top. I was
It's like
able to
those
clip
old
it off.
westerns.
and-
It's like bing, 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 bing.
Reminds me of a reel that I saw. Whoa, that was loud. Reminds me of a reel that I saw where a cow's horn
Oh yeah.
was like
Oh,
buried
yeah.
into its own cheek, and so the guy
Sawed
went
it
over there,
off?
sawed it off, and then he pried it out. Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's not a fast thing.
no.
Like, how long you just watched it? It was like, oh, almost in the cheek. Almost time to cut it off.
Yeah,
Like, come on, dude. Why'd you cut it off like a week earlier?
That's bad cowmanship.
Just give it time. It'll start to go the other way.
Unless it was an
It'll
abandoned
turn
cow
course. An abandoned cow?
that he had,
Neglected.
like a neglected, abandoned that he just
Happened to come
adopted or
across.
whatever came
Maybe.
across.
Dude, you should
Maybe.
see some of the abandoned horses or neglected horses. They come in with their hooves and they have hooves that are this long and they can't even walk. They're walking on the back of their.
Oh,
what?
Oh yeah.
Where do you even find them?
They'll find them at auctions. People abandon them. They just leave them in the field and think they're going to be okay. You have to trim their
Oh, they
feet.
abandon them in their own field.
Or in another field. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just
you
neglected.
You have to trim their
You
feet.
have to trim their
So
feet.
what happens
what
with like
happened-
wild horses?
Yeah.
Well, they don't because they're running all the time. If you're in a pasture, you don't move enough to be able to
Oh.
grind down your hooves. So they sit
see
in
what
the
you're
field
saying.
and it just grows. And they end up having the back of their hoof going like this and their toenails or their hoof just goes clear up. It's
Wow.
it's horrible. man.
Sad.
It's bad.
sorry. Reading a little bit past that, the Adam's apple thing. Back on that a little bit. Somebody just went. Pff, key is to be fat enough it doesn't stick out. And then somebody commented on that and said, "It's just a smooth glide from apple to cheek."
True.
This one's for you, Zach. Never be afraid of abandoning something that isn't working for you and starting something new. Walking away isn't always a weakness. Being stubborn to your detriment is.
That's not true.
I will die on this.
Do we want to get going on this again?
No.
We'll roll this over from last podcast.
I don't even care.
I don't even care.
I will die on this anthill.
Because here's the thing: is if we get you to take care of this right now, you will turn into a walking contradiction.
What?
Because
You will
won't
no
be
longer be
procrastinating.
procrastinating.
I don't want to talk about it then.
No, you say we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Finances. Finances is a big one.
Yes.
What about them?
Just any of
Anything.
it, like how to
Learn how to do
your
them.
taxes, how to balance your like checking accounts, like how to save, how to invest.
And this not only goes for guys, but it goes for women as well. Because honestly, flat out, and Kara admits this as well. If I were to just plop over and die tomorrow, Kara would have no clue where to even begin with the financial responsibilities of the house.
Do you know what? Budget out to pay somebody to do your taxes. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's
oh,
worth
for
it.
sure, that's the best way to
It's
do it.
worth it.
Just don't go to any big name places.
I have a guy.
I mean, like knowing how to write stuff off, or how to
Right.
like knowing enough of the tax code to know how to utilize it,
I
take
don't think
advantage
you
of it.
ever will figure that out, though. Somebody who does that for a profession will always help you out more and
Well,
save you more
yes.
money in the long run.
Yeah.
Yes, you're talking like when the taxes are put in, but there's a lot of stuff you do throughout the year that helps that be.
Oh, you mean
better.
your bookkeeping?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I have always been a big fan of apples and oranges. And what I mean by that is if I'm growing apples, I'm not going to try and waste my time growing bananas. I'm going to go to a guy who grows bananas.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we will trade. Because
Exactly.
that's efficient. That's the best use of your time
All right.
is doing what you're good at. So like prime example on the taxes, I'm not going to sit down and try and figure out all the tax codes and all the best benefits. I'll learn what I can, but I'm still going to hire out someone who's going to benefit me better in the long run.
Exactly.
Because it's not my job to know that.
Exactly.
I'm just good at everything.
But nobody knows that. And
Yeah.
like people don't go to other people.
Right.
You need to know enough to know how to find someone who's good at it.
Right.
And like I think like you said, like knowing small things along the way, like little tips and tricks here, like how you can write off your entire car or how you can do like different stuff like that. Like it's worth it to know enough.
Well, I use the program I use for my bookkeeping. It has this beautiful thing called Ask an Accountant, and my accountant's hooked to my program. And so I just click the Ask the Accountant, and then he tells me where to put it if
Nice.
I don't
Yep.
know.
Nice.
That's
Which is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I think somewhat on that, like kind of as a whole, is don't be afraid to ask for help. I feel
Unless
like,
it's a stupid question. Just kidding. Just
but
kidding.
like I feel like too, especially growing up. I don't know. It wasn't until I feel like I started meeting you guys that I had some friends, different things that I feel like if I asked a question about something, they would belittle me first and then give me the answer. No, you were never one.
Good.
None of you guys were, but I just hate the ones where it's like, oh, you don't know, like, and they'd like bring you down and then give you the answer, and it's like, listen, man, if I knew it, I wouldn't have asked you. So why
Right.
do we have to go through this circus? And
It's
Yeah.
funny you say that because like I've always I do it like I think everyone does a little bit with like TV shows or stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? No. Oh, you haven't seen that? So like I try to stop myself from doing that because I'm like, why? What makes this person have to ever see that movie? Like, why would they have seen it? You know what I mean?
Because it's
Well,
the best movie in the world. That's
you don't
why.
even know what we're talking about.
even that question though, it's like, let's say, I don't know, we'll say Iron Man. It's on your laptop there. It's
There
like,
you go.
It's like, oh, I've never seen Iron Man. You've never seen Iron Man? Oh no, wait, I've seen Iron Man.
Like, it's almost
why would
accusatory.
suddenly they're like, why would it change? Because now you're repeating the question back to him. Like,
And like
It's almost
I've tried
like a
to turn
way to
it-
put him down. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, you haven't
Well, yeah,
seen
if
that?
they haven't seen Iron Man, they're stupid.
And it's unintentional for these four people in that moment.
but
So
like
I
simple
twist
things
it.
like pop culture stuff, that kind of that I whatever. But if I'm like genuinely asking a question, like I'll come to Austin with all kinds of tech questions. Like when I was shopping for a new phone and stuff, he never at any moment was like, "You don't know that." Like he would just answer
ever
the
used
question.
Google?
And,
Well, it's that saying. The only stupid question is the one unasked. You know?
right?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I agree with you on that. But I'm saying let's start with baby steps, okay?
I more so like the front of don't be afraid to be the dumbest person in the room.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's when you grow.
Because the dumbest person in the room has the biggest opportunity to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
And as long as you have great mentors, man, you can learn a lot.
It's like the quote in Avatar when she's like, "How do you fill a cup which is already full?"
Yeah.
And so someone who thinks they know everything, how do you even begin to teach them?
Yeah.
well, it's,
You drink some.
it's the whole thing.
Then you put more in.
If you're ever comfortable, you're not growing.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Well, and I think this is really a testament to Men Try, right? Because on Men Try, we've gone out and we've tried loads of things, and everyone is always like, "Wow, you guys." More times than I can count through our videos, people have always been like, "Wow, you guys are really fast learners." And it's not even that. It's just we're not afraid to be the dumb one in the room.
Yeah.
Right.
And we listen and we apply the instruction that they're teaching us. And when you can do those two things, you learn extremely fast.
Yeah.
Like I will never forget the one that really sticks out to me is when we went and drove the Ferraris
Oh yeah.
and the Lambos. And I just out the gate, I was like, "Hey man, tell me everything. Tell me where to place my hands. Like I'm willing, like teach me as if I'm driving a car for the first time. Like teach me how you want me to learn." And the very first lap, I did everything exactly how he said. And by lap 3, he was just like, "Have at it." And we were burning tires through corners. He was laughing. We were having a great time. He was like, that was fantastic. And I was like, well, it's because it's a testament to your instruction. You were fantastic.
Well,
know?
you too. It's humbling yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to humble yourself. Nobody likes know it all. Know it alls know nothing. Is how I always.
Except all.
No,
Right.
no.
A know-it-all knows nothing. So, and I know, I mean,
I
We've all
almost
been
look
there.
at I almost look at know-it-alls that they are actually extremely self-conscious, that they have to portray that they know everything just to try and build themselves up.
to a degree, yeah. Yeah, I see that. Like a deep,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like almost like not that they're self-conscious, but they're like
They just
I can't think of the word.
Self-centered.
Yeah, well, no. It's like they have a deep-rooted internal problem, and so like
Self-conscious.
that's their like hill.
It's like a low self-esteem. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like a low
Chip on their
self-esteem.
shoulder, low
Exactly.
self-esteem.
So that's like their hill of pride.
They overcompensate for what they feel they're lacking.
Yeah, just like
And the
guys
thing
with
is-
big trucks.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the
Chris?
thing is like you
It's on sale.
like you can learn from every situation, even if you think you did everything right, like
Right.
super successful. There's still something you can learn from it.
You can always do it better too.
Yeah,
You
like
know what I mean?
in my other job, like we essentially can get comments from customers about how it went, and like there's sometimes I get comments and I'm like, gosh, this person was dumb, and like they're mad at me. They're like, oh, this person's like, he wasn't patient, he wasn't helpful, he didn't all this. But then I have 30 other comments that are the complete opposite of that one, and it's like, well, I mean. Doesn't seem to be true. And even though I do not agree with that feedback from that person at all, I'm like, okay, what could I have probably done to make this person have a better experience?
Smack
You know what I
them.
mean? Like I try to find something, even if I don't agree with what they're saying. I'm
Right.
like, maybe I can still grow from this somehow.
But that's the whole idea of too, like people see that and they understand. Okay, probably just a disgruntled person coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe I was having an off day. Like I try to remember the moment.
You don't
and
have
it-
off days.
Bro.
Just
Another.
There's a
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a saying, and I hope I can say it right, but it was like there's no
I in team.
there's no growing.
But there's a me.
What is it? There's no growing in the comfort bubble, and there's no comfort in growing, or something like that.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But-
What I was listening to a podcast, to be specific, it was Joe Rogan interviewing Mr. Beast. And if you don't know who the heck Mr. Beast is, I don't even.
I love Mr. Beast.
Hey, he's wild, man.
I want to meet him one
That-
day because
that
I want to get
interview-
lots of money from him.
Yeah, right. Just make sure you're subscribed. to Five's a crowd.
Yeah.
And anyway, but in that conversation, it was actually really insightful. But and this is something, a testament to what I just said about Mentry, is in essence what he said, and that is, if there is anything that you want to learn more about, find someone in that position that's like a trainer or something, someone who is already in that realm, like a coach or an instructor, because those people who are in that position that you want to learn about are passionate about it.
Right.
And more than likely, they are willing to share any and everything that they have learned. So, for example, you go to a 40-year-old basketball coach who's been playing the sport and is passionate about it for 30 years, let's say. You are learning from 30 years of experience just by hanging out and talking and learning from him. If you did that at a young age, that's like, and this is what Mr. B said, it's like using a cheat code. It's like using a real life cheat code. You are
Right.
getting all that experience compressed and condensed so that you can take it with you.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's anything you want to learn, look to those already in the field and ask questions.
The
You know.
best kind of cliff notes because they get rid of all the crap that didn't work and just tell you this is what happened and how it worked.
Exactly.
Kind of on the opposite spectrum, as far as I can't stand it when I get people coming into my work, sitting down with me with a specific question. I give them the answer and they're like, no, that's I'm like, I'm sorry. Like,
There's another point.
you came to me
Yeah.
wanting to learn this. I'm teaching you this and you're throwing it back in my face.
So that's the other part of it. If you're willing to ask a question, you've got to be willing to accept the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the fact that they asked the question means they don't know the answer.
Right.
So, how could they know that what you told them is not correct?
Because it's not what they saw on Facebook.
Exactly. So, the biggest thing is after that, you go, I know it's not what you want to hear, but this is the fact.
I had a really small example of that today. They were nice. They weren't rude about it in any way, but I had people coming in wanting to purchase some foreign currency. And so when I plugged it in and showed them what the exchange rate was going to be, they're like, well, that's more than what it was this morning. And I'm like, well,
does change.
It changes at any time. And so he pulls out his phone, pulls up Google, puts in the exchange rate, and Google says it was one thing. My computer's saying it's the other. And I'm like, I
That's
can't
when you're like,
change it.
So,
Like this,
so Google's not giving you money. I am.
You're right. I'm like, I have nothing to gain from
Take
this.
your money to Google.
Yeah, go ask them.
I'm like, I have
They're not
nothing
a
to
bank.
gain from this. I'm
Is
not
there-
making money off of you in this exchange here. This is just it.
So there's not a fee at all to exchange money.
There's a $10 fee. It's a flat $10 regardless of what currency they're getting, anything. And so it's just like, we're making our profit on the $10. That exchange rate is just it. Like,
Wait,
I'm
where do
not-
they get the money? Do you guys
What do you mean?
have like? Does the bank have a whole bunch of foreign currency in it?
No, we FedEx it. So we
weird.
order it through this system,
Aren't you
and then
not
it
supposed
gets.
to send money through the mail?
They FedEx it to the branch.
That's not the mail.
That's true.
It's private.
FedEx is faster.
No, it's not. FedEx sucks.
There's your other hill.
You use DHL? Yeah.
No.
No, he uses what's that?
USPS?
No, what's that crappy one?
DHL.
On
On demand.
On track?
on track. That's the one he
That's
uses.
even worse.
Which one do you like?
UPS.
UPS because they
He
are
just
the
likes the brown
Amazon.
shorts.
Yeah.
He saw Dwayne Rock in some brown shorts and was like, yeah. You
I can get behind this UPS.
See, at first,
They all
I
have
mean,
their moments.
They matched his skin color. I didn't even think he was wearing shorts. So
That is racist.
Oh, that's funny.
What was
which
that?
brings
be
me
nice.
to my next topic
I will be nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
for this.
Oh,
what
okay.
people we need to know.
Okay, go.
Don't be afraid to compliment other guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
absolutely.
mean you're gay.
Look around.
Even though gay is not a bad thing,
It means you thought
it
about it.
just doesn't mean you're gay.
No, you're right.
You're right. You're right. You have beautiful eyes.
Thanks.
Feel good?
Just get all
I
bashful.
do. I am.
He's getting on.
Somebody
say something nice about
Yeah.
me.
Wiggly.
If it makes you feel better, you could be more gruff about it. You'd be like, bro, your eyes are dazzling.
Didn't you say that one time about like someone's smell? Like if you want to get to know their cologne or something. What'd you say? You said it.
You said something like
Because
that.
Zach was wanting to know what cologne this guy was wearing, but he didn't want to come across weird.
That's right.
So Cam was like, you should have just interjected and go over the top.
Yeah, you just gotta go too much.
You smell good. You smell fantastic. What you wearing?
It might already be weird, so just keep it weird.
You smell like a raindrop on a summer's morning. What is that?
He scares the weirdness away, though, is what he
Oh, yeah,
does.
dude. I was talking to some coworkers today, and I was like, if ever there's an awkward moment, I lean into the awkward.
Right.
I push to the awkward,
Right.
make it so outrageously awkward that everyone thinks it's funny.
Right. I get that.
Because it's when you're afraid of the awkward that everything goes downhill.
Have you ever complimented a complete stranger?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
Bro, your eyes are dazzling.
Like, is it usually what they're wearing? Is it a physical feature about them?
depends.
So I like complimenting people's smiles. I think like if they've got a good smile, that's always a fun one because it like
You got
it
some
instantly-
nice teeth.
It instantly brings a smile to their face. So it's like it's a great compliment.
Your face, I like what's going on there.
Or if you really want to get like boost a girl's ego, is you compliment their eye makeup if they did it that day.
Hey,
Holy
girl,
smokes!
You
They
paint
are
those
like-
eyebrows on, they are on fleek.
Yeah, exactly. They will like instant mood change.
I was just gonna say that's a
I like
nice
your face
boulder.
paint.
That's a nice
Because here's the
boulder.
thing too, when you comment a guy, we're more apt to be like, dude, thanks, like awesome, thank you. But when you comment most women, they're like, oh, I didn't even do my hair today, or oh, I look like garbage. It's like, why did I even say anything?
But those are the ones fishing for the compliments.
Right.
And that
And I don't feed into that.
Now,
had
see,
this friend
I don't
once-
know if that's necessarily the case because like Jenny will do it
talk
sometimes,
themselves down.
and I don't think it's her fishing at all. I think it's really her. She just sees the negative, and I've noticed a lot. She's gotten a lot better at it because there's times I'll comment. I'm like, babe, you look really good today. She's like, oh, I didn't. Thank you. And she'll like stop and then just, leave it at thank you.
Trying to teach the kids to accept a compliment.
Exactly. Because, like, I can't remember. I feel like me and Tony have talked about it before, but like, by you not accepting the compliment,
Oh, yeah.
you're not allowing the other person to do something kind.
Yeah.
Well, and it also goes a little bit.
It completes the transaction.
I've heard that same thing about saying you're welcome to a thank you.
Yeah.
Like if someone says thank you, by you saying you're welcome, then you've almost completed that.
Right.
And now instead of saying, like if someone says, oh, thank you, and it's like, oh, it was nothing. It's still a nice gesture back, but there's just something about like you're completing
You're
it by
welcome.
you're welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but
Then you sing it. You're welcome. You're welcome.
what can I say?
Except you're welcome.
I killed a seal. I buried its guts.
What?
Oh yeah,
I killed an eel.
I feel like
I
Chris-
killed an eel.
killed
I
it.
buried
Someone
its
buried
guts.
its
I
guts.
planted
planted
a
a-
something.
I-
Grew coconuts.
Yeah.
What's the lesson?
feel
What
it.
does it take away? Dumbass old Maui when he's on a breakaway, and the tapestry here on my skin.
Is a map of the victory I win.
How do I know this song if you don't?
It's been a while since I've listened to that song.
Because Maui can't do anything but float.
I am flabbergasted.
welcome.
So if he was here and he wanted you to sing that song, you'd have been dead on
If
arrival.
he was-
Suddenly he would be
If he was here, I wouldn't be able to talk at all.
he would look down upon
I would be
you.
so flabbergasted.
I killed a girl. I buried its guts.
What did you say?
Oh, wait, what?
I would not be able to make complete sentences.
You can't now. Just the
Exactly.
thought.
That was bad. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
You would have.
What was the last one? Oh, the compliment. Got it.
Compliments, yeah.
I love complimenting people when they've been like working out. If they like you see progress.
Bro, nice quad sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
That horseshoe's looking nice.
You got killer glutes, man.
Whoa.
Wait, what did you just compliment?
That was a
I got washboard glutes.
I don't know how to gym talk. I'd be like, that was a
Dude,
good
like-
pump.
Dude,
What?
when I-
Talking
oh
about?
my gosh.
He's going, dude, you are glistening
Listen,
right now.
that was good pumps, bro.
You're glowing.
They'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Get out of here, weirdo. Yes, sir.
What kind of protein you on?
So the other thing I was thinking about, I saw this some TikTok or something, and this girl's like, so guys, do you prefer, like, this cute girl, she's like, do you prefer like when the girl like puts her arms over your neck and like she hugs you that way, or do you prefer like that she puts her arms around your waist and all this stuff? And it cuts to this guy and he's like, we just want to be hugged. I was like, it's so sad, but I do feel that it's very true.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, go for it.
I was just gonna say one thing I learned. I was probably, I think I was in like early high school, and I remember I had a bishop in my ward when I lived in Colorado, and I shook his hand, and he's like, no, priesthood men hug, and he just gave me this huge bear hug, and I was like, this is great, like.
It's like, this is a safe place.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, he was a big dude too, so you're like, this is comforting.
I don't even care if it's the
Yeah,
crossover,
Linking.
Side hug?
yeah, the linking or
No,
whatever.
not the side hug, like where you go one under, one over,
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
go one
Yeah.
under, one over.
but I mean, like, dudes, don't be afraid to hug your bros.
I love giving a good hug.
Yeah.
I love getting
We're
a good
all
hug.
huggers here.
There's
for sure.
literally there's a psychological, physiological response to when you're hugged and embraced that elevates like happiness and makes you feel good,
Right.
comforted, safe.
I do the hug and then I do the pull in. Like that good little pull
Then he gets
in.
right next to you and he's like,
Sweet and sour sauce.
Excuse me, we've been trying to reach you regarding
let me just go right in here.
Oh, man.
But yeah, dudes deserve hugs. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
ahead.
Another one is it was a meme forever ago, is You guys want compliments, and we don't ever get them.
Right.
And a prime example is a guy who does his hair the exact same way that he did 20 years ago because some girl complimented on his hair or the same shirt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, girls, if you're listening to this, women, compliment a man. I promise you that will change his year.
Yeah.
It's crazy what kind of power is behind a compliment from a female to a male.
Hey, do you
with
think
that-
it's an exaggeration? But it's not.
It's not at all.
Yeah. With that too, I like a gesture of appreciation. If you appreciate something, let them know you appreciate it
Yeah.
too.
Dude,
It's the same in the same ballpark as that.
and a perfect example of what you just said, when I was in 3rd grade, the girl that I liked in my class would always, when she would pass out papers to the room, she would give me mine last. And I asked her once, I was like, why am I always last? And she's like, because I saved the best for last. I literally, to this day, will eat food like that. I will play games like that. I will pick things like that. Literally, I will save the best thing for last because of that compliment I got in 3rd grade.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I saved
core
the best
memories.
for last, but just because of that saying, not
Core
necess-
memory.
Like when I'm eating,
Yeah, core memory.
like a big one is like when I'm eating like fruit snacks. Something as simple as that. I'll eat the yellow and orange first and save the purples and reds and stuff
Even though
last.
they all have the same taste.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
I
like,
disagree.
I think I do it with M&Ms. They all have the same taste, but the
Now
blue
when you're
color is the
talking-
best.
So
They literally,
not important.
there's no different taste. I eat it in order of the colors I like better.
fruit snacks clearly have a different taste.
Yes.
M&M's, you're correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I
for
see
some
what you're
reason,
saying,
I
yeah.
for some reason thought you were talking like switched
But
to
like
M&Ms.
Skittles, let's say Skittles, those definitely have a different taste.
Yeah.
I eat the yellow and orange ones first.
Ooh, I mix
Save the
them.
reds and blues.
Seems to be a
purple.
trend.
I'll do a green
Yeah.
and a purple, and then you get a lime Ricky Skittle.
Oh, look at you.
But
you ever make
gotta
Skittle
do 2 purples
sandwiches?
to 1. No, but that sounds awesome.
You just smash them so
Do
they're
what?
flat, and then you do what you're doing. So you put the 2 on the outside and put 1 in the middle. You get a little.
I've been living
You've never
life
done
all
that?
wrong.
or you take the airheads and you twist them together.
Oh, I've done that. That's delicious.
Do you remember taking airheads and shaking
Yes.
them until
Remember-
they ball up in the bottom?
Did it last week.
That was some jaw strengthening skills right there.
Yes. To finish on that thought, ladies, if you have
Jaw
a,
strengthening.
that too, that too.
Oh, I mean, do you want? Does it really need to be that strong? That's
One of the
more
nicest
scary.
gestures.
No. It's
That's what you're saying.
their jaw gets tired,
Yes.
so they need a strong jaw.
it needs to be strong. Yes.
So, but
Continue.
other note, if there is a guy that you have a massive crush on and he's not making a move, just compliment him. That is enough to push him over the edge. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden,
will it though?
yes, he will start recognizing you.
We've been over this.
Like, you do not have to do much. All you got to do is compliment him once, and
don't play
and
the
then it's
game.
in his head.
Yeah.
It's a little seed that you're planting.
Well, I think that's actually, you bring up a very good point, both of you. The hard thing is, and I feel like this is why some women are afraid to do it, is because there's some guys who haven't been complimented ever. So you end up complimenting a guy that you don't really have feelings for or anything, but then that guy's like infatuated by them.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of stuck. So the way to combat that is to compliment them all a lot. Because then it's nothing new. They're just used to compliments. They're like, this is nice. I don't think all of you love me, but I feel appreciated.
Then you don't have the puppy dog.
Yeah,
at
then
your
you don't
feet,
have the
like,
weirdo following you around.
The lost dog.
Yep. Yep.
She said something nice to me.
Shivering on your doorstep, wanting the next meal.
Yep, exactly.
On the, I was gonna say on the hug thing. Another thing that I have to say I really like is I occasionally like being the little spoon.
Right?
Like,
Bro,
when we're
yes.
spooning in bed, not anything sexual, just spooning, getting ready to go to sleep. And like, I'm the little spoon. I got my back to Jenny and she's got her arms around me being the big spoon. Oh man, that's a safe place.
Last time I felt
love that.
something.
Like, yeah.
I'm worried.
You feel a little,
Just kidding.
that reminds
boner in
me.
the back.
That reminds me of that Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. She's like, during our sex scene, I had to take 2 Pepto-Bismol so I didn't get sick. He's like, last time we did our sex scene, I felt something between your legs.
No, he's like,
I felt your dick on
dick
my
rub up on me. Well, like to get even real, like let's get real and maybe sad. I don't know, but like
In the feels.
I feel like in today's society, especially, they always try to say like, man, you don't have to be so strong. You don't have to try to do everything. You don't have to do blah, 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 blah. They say that, but they never give us the opportunity to not. Like, it's still, at the end of the day, every man feels like the responsibility is on us. Like, we have to make sure that there's dinner on the table. We have to make sure that there's a roof over our heads. And like, they say in society like, oh no, men and women gender roles, like they shouldn't have to do that. But what's anyone doing to change that? You know what I mean? Like the responsibility still always falls on us. And I think going back to the compliment thing, it's like we just want people to recognize that. Like that men put in a lot of work and we deal with a lot of stuff and we have to push off a lot of emotions in life.
Well,
to take care of other people.
the man always has obligation to be the rock, is what you're saying. Like you're the foundation,
Exactly.
right? Whether or not, and it's not discrediting the women or anything. It's just we feel like we have to be that foundation for the family.
Yeah.
We are the one who are solid. You get to be upset while we're holding things together, right? I at least I feel that way.
Yeah.
And I think most men do, who's worth their grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I look at like my dad. I'm like growing up, obviously my mom was the more emotional one and like would show those things in difficult times. Like my dad's sister just passed away yesterday.
Oh, dang.
Sorry to hear that.
And I'm weird. I haven't like been emotional about it until like kind of right now. But like he's so solid and he's always been so strong and like held back those emotions. And it's people look at it and they're like, "Oh, men are heartless." And it's like, not at all. No. They're so, I don't even know the word, heartful, that he's holding his emotions at bay to make sure everybody else gets to have their emotions.
Right.
Yeah, process and
I like people, they look at it and they think that men don't feel anything and they're heartless. It's like, no, we feel everything, every little bit of it.
We usually mourn in silence.
And we have to keep things together so we can let everyone else get their feelings out and experience it and express it. But the world has to keep turning. Like we have to keep things going. And I think men they just need to know that that's appreciated.
Right.
yeah.
Kind of.
Beautifully said, Cam.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
I know with that, I've gotten in trouble for it. Not necessarily on like the mourning or sad stuff, but just in general. Because like in my head, I'm constantly like, I don't know. I recognize the greatness that Jenny does for the family and different things like that. And I don't know how to really, I don't know if I have an excuse for it or not, but I don't put it into words. I don't tell her that as often as I know I should, but it's not that I don't feel it. You know what I mean? And I think it kind of goes along those lines. It's like, just as a man, I don't feel like I express it in words. I'm probably expressing it in other ways. It's
You
just
feel
not
it's
in
implied,
words.
right? It's like it's implied. You know how I feel about it. See, and I learned that too. Is I have to start doing that, and I do that. I have make sure I do it more often because it does go both ways.
Yeah. It's almost like you feel like if I'm not saying it's wrong, that means it's right. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, if I'm not saying anything's bad or out of place, like it means everything's good and in place. Like
That's a good
I'm
point.
quiet, so it's good.
It's the firehouse mentality. So
So I guess that could be something, with that is, guys, say it, don't just think it. Don't just assume, say it. Tell your woman that she's beautiful, that she's a strong woman, mother, whatever it may be. Say it to them.
yeah,
And try to do it in a not fully joking manner. Like I think that's one thing is we especially this crew, like we joke around a lot.
oh yeah,
But, like don't
I'm
be afraid
guilty of that.
Don't be afraid to be like, but hey, like seriously, like you're doing amazing, and I truly appreciate it. Like,
Just know, just
Shine
know
that
that I
light.
notice what you do, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
and
I
then
need
go
to be
back to
better
making
at that.
jokes.
I know
need to
one
be better
thing.
at that, definitely.
I feel like when I say it, it comes off cheesy and corny. So that's why sometimes I don't say it.
Right.
I'm like, I feel like I'm
Thanks.
quoting a rom-com or something. Like,
That was great. But yeah,
you're swell.
I felt that in my penis.
On a very similar note, another life hack to your relationship with your significant other or a person that you're dating would be the 5 love languages and learning them.
Yeah.
I know that Jess and I have been doing our best. Like, we started learning those last year, and we've been trying to apply them to help
What are they?
better.
I don't know if I know them.
So there's a whole
Good book to read.
Yeah, there's a whole book on it, but basically this psychologist goes into the 5 different love languages. One of them's physical, one of them's emotional, acts
Physical,
of
emotion,
service,
acts of service, gifts,
gifts, and
compliments.
compliments.
It's basically how you like to show affection and receive affection.
Yeah. So like mine, number 1, big shocker, physical.
Physical.
Tony knows. But you know, like Jess's big ones, surprisingly, her number 1 is gifts. And it doesn't necessarily mean gifts of monetary value. It's a gift of me thinking about her. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a bracelet that costs me $100. It could be a flower, a singular
Or
flower.
like a little
Or a
message on the
little love
bathroom
note.
mirror.
Exactly.
Like,
And so like it's a good breakdown of how your significant other or partner or even your kids, you can do it for your kids too. And you just learn what they take as love, and then you can start speaking in their love language.
interesting.
So
I found one of mine is acts of service. Like if I know I got to do something, like take the trash out or whatever, and I come home and it's already done, like I'm like, oh wow, like awesome, like someone was thinking about me, like
right.
yeah,
and like I really feel it.
it's very cool. It's also very hard because you're constantly, it's so natural for you to love in your language.
Yeah,
And it's really hard to differentiate that and do
Yeah.
something that's not normal.
Is that hard because it just seems so foreign and takes a lot of effort?
Yeah, it's like speaking Chinese.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean?
it's kind of like think of it like this. It's like you love chicken tenders, like you love them, right? So only naturally you'd want to be like, hey, have some chicken tenders, because like to you it's like this is something that I love and it brings
Right.
me so much joy. Like have some of this, but they prefer steak. And they
They're
have
PETA.
nothing against, right? They have-
No, they are PETA.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that.
but they like, so it's nothing against what you love. It's just that the thing that they truly love is steak. So like,
Right.
you know, if you're a gift giver, but that person prefers physical touch, you giving gifts isn't quite gonna
I like
help
they
show
give you
them.
candy and you don't like sweets.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
For them, it was an emotional response and saying like, this is me showing I love you, but because it's not how you receive it,
Right.
I'd be
it's like it
curious
lessens the meaning.
I'd be curious to find out which one is Jenny, because off the top of my head, I can think of a few that she's definitely, a few categories she's in, but like which one would be her prime? I don't know.
Lisa's inexpensive.
She is a monetary gifts.
In all reality,
Just kidding.
You can go on to whatever his website is. I can't think of
It's
it.
a test.
Just it's a free test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you
That's
can
cool.
you can take the test, and then there's a book that dives way further deeper into it.
Gotcha.
You might even be able to find a free audiobook, but it's called The 5 Love Languages.
It's
Honestly,
really good.
It's really good.
It
Yeah.
gave me a good idea. I'm just going to pay attention and see what she does for me. Now pay close attention and then just start
Watch her reactions
mirror
and
that to her, because
Because I know
she does, like, she'll get me candy and stuff and I'm like, oh, thanks, I don't like, but obviously that's one of her love languages then.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
So
she's
maybe she
thinking
is-
of you while she's out and about.
Right.
And so maybe she's a gift giver.
I'm a dickhead is what I am. 'Cause I'm like,
So I mean,
thanks.
well, and that's where it comes
Yeah.
from.
'Cause
Too,
I don't feel like I showed enough appreciation. It's just making me think in my head. I'm like, she
Yeah,
was
so-
thinking of me, and I just was like, blown, like, oh, thanks,
it helps you understand how they're showing it and show more appreciation for it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it doesn't mean you have to stop showing it in the way that you show it.
Right, but just I could mirror that because obviously that's her love language that
Yeah.
she's trying to let me know, you know, so I can mirror that for her. And then maybe it just is sets up. That's cool.
On the really dope side of it, there's an app, and I think actually it's called Love Nudge. Now that I think about it,
Love Nudge.
is the app.
I think I have that. I think
And
I
you
have
can
that.
you can actually take the test in the app.
Okay.
And you can actually pair with your significant other. They can take the test, and then it tells you exactly how to speak their love language. Like, do this, do
Oh,
this,
yeah.
and it gives you a big old long list of things to do for your significant other.
Cool.
I have
So,
that app
I'm gonna
on
have
my
to check
phone
that
too.
out because I know me and her, we've had some deep talks as far as, you know, figuring out how, you know, like I'll say it, like I'm more of the physical. Like if I want to make love to show love, where she wants to talk about love and that type of thing.
Yeah, and it's that's a very similar boat in the fact that Jess needs to feel emotional connection before we can have a physical connection.
Yeah.
And when we're out of sync, it's way out of sync and it's way out of whack. And
Right.
and it's hard at times to be the one to start the circle back, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I got you for sure. We've been
So-
there. And it's great when you know you're in that circle, man, it's killer.
Yeah.
And then you just suddenly fall out of it and you don't realize how or when. And you're like, hey, we gotta get back
That's
in
what's
this.
hard though, because like the emotional, like I'll be the physical and then I turn into the emotional and then like I just feel vulnerable. Like after we do, you know, I'll feel vulnerable and we can talk about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like the stress has been taken away and then we can start connecting emotion. Well, we connect emotional through the physical, in my opinion, and then the conversations afterwards are just profound. No, but really, like they're just like we have awesome conversations after like a good tumble in the sheets, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and it's very it's
But
like
it needs to go both ways.
when it's
Right.
in a well-oiled and
well lubricated.
when it's a well-oiled and lubricated machine, it yeah, both sides are
Right.
being fed and it's awesome.
Right.
But when it does get out of sync, man, it can be hard.
See, and
It can be very hard.
We've done stuff like that. Like I've noticed that works
Difficult.
out, but you don't put. I don't know. I've never thought that much about it. It's more like a natural thing that would happen. I was like, oh, that was really nice.
Yeah.
You know, but now I like that.
I'm gonna switch gears up.
Uh-oh.
Do it.
Is that right? Yeah,
Switch up gears.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the
lubricate
one.
gears.
Wash your butt.
What's your what?
Wash your butthole.
Washing your butthole isn't gay. Wash your nasty ass.
Who doesn't?
Oh,
I don't
gosh,
know.
I
It was
hope-
just a thing on here.
Use a bidet.
All right. Oh,
I
for
would-
sure. 100%
Still need to
bidet.
get one.
Dude, there's real quick. They're on Amazon. You can buy these like bidet towels that come in a roll like toilet paper. What? So you basically like pull them off and you dry and you just throw them into the
laundry.
Well, laundry.
Well, then they're not a roll anymore.
I don't like it. No,
Yeah,
they,
and then
they
when
got
you
little
wash 'em-
snaps on them.
They roll up again. You roll it back up.
Sounds like
Oh,
a
that's
lot of work.
exhausting. Yeah.
I mean, I just use a towel, but whatever.
Dude, I use toilet paper, just a little bit of toilet paper to pat it dry.
Yep.
Just pat the fart box and call
sometimes
it
it
a day.
leaves a little too much behind.
Toilet paper?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't. You just pat it. Get good ply.
you get the expensive stuff.
The thing is you save in the long run. You use less of it.
Yep. It's true.
Sound like a commercial.
There you go. There's another one. Buy a bidet.
Buy bidet, 100%.
That's a life hack.
And don't be afraid. It is.
That's a cultural movement I need America to get behind.
Oh, it's life changing.
Because like ever since having one, I mean, I never had an issue using like public restrooms. I could care less. Everybody poops. Get over it.
Yeah, but your butt's touching other butts.
I don't care. It does.
Do
it
you
happens
eat off of it?
I hover.
for real.
I'm a hoverer. I don't sit on it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
That's too hard.
That's too much work. It's not
a
worth
good
it.
workout, and you're crapping at
Just
the same
put
time.
toilet paper on the seat. You're
I
fine.
was gonna say
That's a
I've
lot of
been in
work.
some that look a little dicey. I just throw some toilet paper
I'd
down
rather
on the
hover.
seat.
And I'll tear it up in there. I don't care who hears.
I don't
But-
care about that,
but-
I'll hover.
Ever since having the bidet, I hate it because they don't have bidets.
Yeah,
Oh.
Sucks.
right. You're one
It's like I
wipe
hate
short.
using a toilet without a bidet now.
yeah, dude.
You
It
just
ruins
always
you.
risk an itchy BH later.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that I hated about our recent trip to Vegas.
Nowhere.
Oh man, you instantly realize you're like, man, there's not a bidet
Yeah.
anywhere around here.
We need to have like, okay, whoever bidet people of the world, make travel bidets.
Right.
Ooh, that'd be smart. Honestly, like you would think it'd
think
be
they
a
have
genius.
I hope so.
You think it'd be a genius like business plan because kind of like Chris already said, it instead of spending all kinds of money on toilet paper, and we know it's all super cheap toilet paper. It's like if you just installed a bidet in every single room in a hotel, imagine the cost in toilet paper that would go down.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the biggest selling point of the bidet. They talk about how much toilet paper it actually saves.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to get one.
Shoot, I just had one.
The
And
next one I buy, I want to have a little blow dryer on it.
Do they come with those too?
The really fancy
Right.
Japanese ones do.
And they come with heated, so it'll
Yeah,
heat
dude.
through a coil, so you get hot.
Have you ever
water
seen?
on the
Dude, it's
bidet.
like a master control panel of buttons, man.
my
Pretty
God.
crazy.
It's like Star
Dude, they're
Trek.
wild.
Yeah.
Does it talk to
And
you?
it extends from the back and like moves back and forth.
A little
And
to
then
the
it
left.
blows air in there. Dude, they're great.
It would be cool if it was voice controlled. A little to the left, forward,
Just
forward.
Well, we talked about this, and you were like, it'd be funny to have like a
joystick.
You got the button that's like.
But it's like it's like
That's playing
it's like
with
a
yourself.
filter. It's a filter on the camera, so you're not just staring at your butthole, but it's like looks like a
target.
spaceship.
It's like a target.
It's a air duct in the dark in the Death Star.
Stay on target.
Yeah, exactly.
The TIE fighters are all like chunks of poo you're shooting off.
The force is strong with this one.
This one also was really good, and it says the value of listening to someone's problems without trying to come up with a solution. The one that I love is, and this is another life hack, and I'm trying to get better at remembering to ask it. Is when someone is complaining to me. I'm like, you ask them, okay, are you looking for a solution or are you just looking to vent? And just in that
Yeah.
can change everything.
Like
because
you
if-
asked that question out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
are you looking for me to help you or are you looking to vent? Because sometimes someone just needs to vent. They're not looking for you to tell them
Right.
a solution.
I
And
would
I-
love to ask that question at work sometimes. Just to
Do
see
it.
an angry person comes in and just straight up ask them, do you want me to actually help you or are you just here to vent?
That's good. It's
mean-
honestly that's smart because
I,
I
feel like it'd come off bad though.
I always try
In that exact situation, maybe.
because I always tend to be a fixer. Like I try to fix the problem.
exactly. That's me,
Right.
100%. But sometimes people just need to get things
need
off
to
their
vent.
chest, and then they're okay.
and that's you
know,
helping
it's-
them just listen.
Yep.
It's kind of like how they say too with listening, what's the percentage of people are only listening, waiting to reply instead of listening to actually hear.
Listening
you're
with
saying.
intent
Yeah.
rather than than listening with yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the best
Right.
video that sums it up is that it's not about the nail on YouTube. Just look it up. It's not about the nail.
Oh, okay.
And it's this video about a girl. She's got a nail literally sticking out of the center of her forehead.
Oh gosh.
And she starts complaining to her husband, and she's like, I just have this like throbbing pain. And he's like, well, you have a nail in your forehead. And she's like, it's not about that. And he's like, but it, like, if we were to remove it, like the pain would be gone. And she's like, it's not about the nail. And he's like, but I'm pretty sure it is. And she's like, and she starts screaming. He's like, okay, fine. I'll just listen. Fine. And so she goes on and she keeps talking, and she's like, yeah, it's just, there's just so much pressure. It hurts. And like all of my sweaters are snagged, like all of them. And like, she's going on. And finally the guy's like, that sounds really hard. And she's like, it is. Thank you. And they hug, and the nail pokes him in the eye, and he's like, but if you were to just, and she's like, don't.
That's awesome.
I was like, that sums it up so perfectly.
She's got a frontal lobotomy going on, huh?
Really though, like, because you could. I mean, they tell us that at work all the time. In our kind of work, so of course there's the selling side of it. We're supposed to find a solution for everybody that comes in, and they tell us, listen to their whole problem before you come up with a solution, because if you. Like, let's say they start to say something and it's like in your head, you're like, oh, a checking account's going to be best for them. And then they keep going. You're like, oh, just kidding. It might be an auto loan or, I don't know, just something. And it's like, just shut up and listen to them. Let them finish. And then we will come up with the solution.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like that's good training just in life in general, because someone could start coming to you with a problem, whatever it may be. And in your head, it's like, well, clearly you need this. And then it's like they finish and you're like, oh, I didn't hear half of what they said now because I already had the answer in my head. And
Yeah, that's a problem I have trouble with.
Me too.
yeah.
My mind's
I think we all
always
do.
running, dude. Always running. And I'm trying to be better at it.
Do you remember the Wolf of Wall Street where he like goes to the guy and he's like, sell me this pen?
Uh-huh.
Remember that? I actually saw an interview of the actual real life Wolf of Wall Street, and they kind of brought that up, and they're like, what's this all about? And he's like, well, the thing is like, if you go up to somebody and you say, sell me this pen, you can really quickly like weed out a good salesman from a bad one, because a lot of people go like, oh, well, this pen is awesome. It's the best ballpoint pen. It clicks. It does all this. They start to describe the pen. He's like, but the best salesman basically like push aside and forget about it and be like, so what are you looking for in a pen? How long have you been looking for a new pen? Like they go to the person and they try to figure out their actual need, and then take that pen and figure out how it fills that need, how it could put it in there.
Yeah, that's what they tell us. They tell us sell the benefit, not the product.
Exactly.
And so you find out what about the product is going to benefit the person, and then sell that.
Exactly.
Genius.
Hey, I have a list real quick. We can go through this according to the internet. 25 things every man should be able to do by the time he's 25.
Okay, we'll call this a shotgun round and then call it quits.
Yeah, and then you guys tell me what your thoughts are. Okay, 25. We'll start there and go down. Start a fire.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah. I think that's something everyone should, like, every guy should know, especially when they're younger.
What about without a match?
Yeah,
I think
like
that's
you
what
should
it
know how
means,
to.
like-
Yeah, you should know how to start a fire. I feel like in any way possible, like the most basic one with the easiest accessible like items, and then obviously
Two
using a
sticks.
match, but yeah, 2 sticks. That's what I'm saying.
2 sticks
Okay.
is hard. I've
It
never
is.
been able to do it with 2 sticks.
Really?
No.
I don't think I've
I
ever
tried.
successfully done
I
it.
tried a lot and during Boy Scouts, but I was never able to do it.
How to use basic tools.
I'm getting used to that one.
So like difference between socket wrenches,
See,
hammer.
now back on the thing
Different
that I
types of
said
hammers.
about asking questions and being belittled and things, I feel like as a man, you should like be born to know how to use tools and different things. I grew up without knowing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I never had to, and so I wasn't around it. And so now here I am in my 30s just learning how to use a lot of these things, and depending on who I'm with, sadly it does. It kind of gets thrown back in my face. But
I've never done that.
nope.
Come over. We'll do lessons. Story time.
Yeah.
'Kay.
It makes me think of actually there's this guy, this older gentleman on YouTube, and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
like what is it called? It's like
I don't remember.
the
but
Dad's Lessons or something about
teaches
that.
you how to like tie a tie and different things. Yeah.
He's a YouTube dad for people who don't have a dad in their life to teach them these basic things.
I have
well, and
seen
he
that.
and he didn't have a dad growing up.
Yeah.
So he knows the struggle, and so he tries to fill that
it's
void.
so
That's
cool.
genius.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's awesome.
That's
He's a
cool.
cool dude. Own a plant without killing it.
Okay.
I could try that.
I think that's a skill I don't know that I have. I haven't really tried.
Does grass count?
I mean, kind of, but at the same time, it kind of fixes itself.
No, it doesn't.
Mine
grass
does.
is a bee.
Dude, it'll be green, and then like in the heat of summer, it'll turn yellow, and then it'll turn green before fall, and then it's green at the start again.
That's because it goes dormant.
That's what I'm saying.
During the
Is it
summer.
like it's like you're not helping me? I just do it myself.
Oh.
At least that's the case with my lawn. Enjoy your workout.
Yep.
I think working out in general is
Yeah.
one. Like just doing something actively and finding the
Movement
joy
is
in
medicine. That's the trick. Is it doesn't even like everyone always equates working out to lifting weights, and that's not the case. Working out could be walking, it can be running, it can be jogging, it can be basketball, kickball,
It's anything
jazzercise,
not sitting down or
dancing.
laying down. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
it's
could
just
be
like
anything.
get out and move around. Dress for the occasion.
Right.
I think that's one. I think a lot of like I don't know if I was ever taught by like my parents other than like church to wear like specific things. You know what I mean? It's not until you're like in high school and you're more or junior high and you're more concerned with your image.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you dress like you dress, if you want somebody to think to take you seriously, you got to take yourself seriously, and sometimes that means taking that time to dress appropriately.
Yeah. I think one, like back when we were younger, the big thing was dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really applies much anymore, but I mean, the extra effort does give you an edge.
And people will even tell you like you don't need to dress up. It's not that big of a deal. You still can.
Yeah, but you don't need to, but you did. That's
Exactly.
the
It's
difference.
subconscious too. Like
Right.
subconsciously, people will be like, "Oh, they're making a little bit more of an effort to be here than this person
Right.
Yeah, so show up in a tux every day.
every day, suits all the time." Barney Stinson. Understand your financial commitments. Cook a proper meal. Sew a button.
I saw sewing on that Reddit where
Yeah.
even just how to hem.
Dude, I know how to sew, and it's all because of like home ec in 9th grade.
I'll
And
be
it
honest,
comes in so handy.
I haven't tried sewing anything ever.
Dude, it's the most like, and it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a seamstress or anything. Like, it's the most basic sewing. It returns the item back to functionality.
Yeah.
That's all that I need. Understand how your friend fixed your computer. Especially nowadays, technology is a huge one.
Yep.
Take an insult without starting a fight.
That's a big one.
Being able
Twitter.
to, yep.
Twatter?
Follow a budget.
That one's hard.
Dude, I actually just wrote that one on mine because you touched on it early on in the podcast and we instantly breezed by it, but I do want to say, 6 years ago, something like that, before I actually had a budget, I always thought budgets were stupid.
Yeah.
But when you actually learn about them and get really invested into them, it felt like I got a pay raise. It was crazy because a lot of people look at it as like limiting yourself, but you don't need to really limit yourself. It's whatever you want. It's just, you're just budgeting your money. So whether you're budgeting it for fun or for saving, you're still just budgeting it, but it means you know where your money is going.
Yep.
And when you do that, you instantly feel like you got a pay raise because you're like, holy crap. I started spending so much here and now I'm not because I realized how much I was spending in this
You're
category.
like, that was stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so much money to McDonald's. Jeez. But I think you touched on something real important, and that is discipline equals freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everyone says,
Exactly.
no, you're limiting. You're not. And this can be in every aspect of life. Discipline with your money through a budget gives you more money.
Yes.
Discipline with your fitness gives you more ability to do more activities.
Gives you more freedom.
Yep.
All of it. Discipline equals freedom. There's actually a really good book by an ex-Navy SEAL who he even taught a lot, like trained Navy SEALs. Jocko Willink is his name. And it's called Discipline Equals Freedom. And it's great. Fantastic book. But
Yeah, it gives you options.
it really does. And like I think, like you said, the earlier you learn that, especially as a young man, it'll change your life.
Yeah, really, really, truly. And it's one of those things I wished I had learned way earlier in life, and when I was going through the motions of learning it, man, there was some skeletons in the closet I needed to have a few battles with.
Right.
You know, it was really like an internal struggle. It was like, wow, I need to correct
Dang,
this ship.
Yeah, I gotta take
It
care of
was
this.
bad.
But then real quick, the last little things like how to change a tire, maybe how to play a musical instrument, how to avoid talking about yourself too much. We talked about this one. where was it? It was appreciate old art. That's not it. Compliment your friends.
Appreciate old art. We'll just skim past that one.
Now, old art's it's great and stuff. But that's
there's
true
a lot
too.
of
Like
truth to
appreciating like art and stuff. Like after
Classics.
after I went to like the Louvre in France and stuff. Like it. Actually, no, in Florence where I saw the David
Oh yeah.
made by that was Da Vinci,
Michelangelo.
right? I think it was Da Vinci.
Oh.
But it's insane. The dude carved veins out of freaking marble. Like, dude's standing there with his arm, and you can see the veins in his arms. And he freaking chiseled this thing out of marble. Like, it blows my mind. Like, I even looked today, and I'm like, I don't know anyone else who could make that now.
Well, that's why it says appreciate. You don't have to like it, but at least appreciate it.
Dude, he had a tiny peepee.
I saw another like meme
It's not
today,
very big. It's pretty small.
and it was
Support group. Should start a support group.
I saw another meme today, and it said Picasso died in 1973.
Ridiculous.
Just saw that too.
I thought, and like really, when it said, I thought this man lived in 1500. Dude, I thought the
Same.
same thing.
Right.
I thought he was
1973,
back with like
dude.
Michelangelo, Da
Yeah.
Vinci, like
I was
back
like,
in those early days.
Well, it's another thing I heard. Think about it. Our country is 4 people ago.
yeah.
We got established 4 people ago. So like in the 1600s when the Pilgrims came over, right? That's 4 people ago.
Like,
Like
four
Four
generations.
generations. Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. He means 4
exactly.
generations.
That's it.
Like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 generations ago.
Like we're in the 5th
I guess how long-
generation.
1776.
Yeah. How long does is a generation like 100-year span?
Right
Or?
around, 80 to 100 years.
Jeez.
So
That's
it's not that
wild.
long. It's not that long ago.
That's wild.
Think about that.
It's just weird to me to think that Bob Ross and Picasso lived in the same era.
Who was the better artist?
That's a pretty happy accident.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
What's this?
wild.
The Sonar Project. Ooh, I like a Picasso.
Little happy tree.
Oh gosh. But yeah, just other simple thing. Tie. Learn how to write a letter. Do your laundry. I think I
do
didn't
your
know how to
laundry.
do my laundry until I was like 20. And I was like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, what do all the settings mean? Where do I put the soap? Like, what's happening? Like, basic things, and you don't even think about it. You're like, I don't know how to do this.
I'll be honest. There was a period where I was using a washer, and I didn't even know that had a dedicated a spot for a detergent. Because like
just pour it
my
in.
parents' old washer, you just pour it literally on top of the laundry.
Yeah.
And now these newer ones have the trays where you pour the.
All right.
And I like
I'm released.
I think it was Jess. She like pulled it out. She's like, I'm like, what? Where did that come from?
I think kind of along those lines is ironing your clothes.
Yeah.
Like
That's something I'm terrible at. It takes me forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have to do it all the time for work, and then they lightened the dress code for work, but like even for church or whatever, like I see some of the young boys at church with their shirts that they look like they just pulled out of the laundry, and I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Come
It's like, come here,
on.
son. Going to the laundry room.
I buy clothes that you can't iron just so I don't have to iron them.
That you can't
smart.
iron.
It's like made of nylon or something.
So like,
It says you can't iron it.
I can't do
See,
it.
I have
Steam
some
it.
of those, and I dry clean them. I take them to the dry cleaner. They
There's
come out
one.
nice and pressed.
How to use a dry cleaner? I've been like twice.
You just go drop it off.
Yeah, but you don't know, like knowing what can be dry cleaned.
Anything.
They'll tell you.
No.
Yeah, you can't.
Anything can be dry cleaned.
How do they clean it?
They dry.
Yeah, nobody knows. It's just a front.
It goes to a magical place.
It's a money
the
laundering.
stain is
I've heard
gone
it's
and
a
it has
money
a
laundering
crease.
It's a
system.
dryer with they do a spray chemical for it. But also, steam cleaning your laundry
Yeah,
is awesome.
steam. Well, I mean, like, is that cleaning it or is that just
Steaming it.
getting the wrinkles out?
There's the steam. No, there's a steam setting where you steam clean your laundry instead of it filling it full of water. It's steam does it. On mine, anyway.
I think I've heard of that.
It's nice.
You know, a little tiny hack with that. My
hang it on
grandma
your-
used to, she used to, if she was kind of in a hurry, she would hang her dress in the bathroom
shower.
while she showered.
Yeah.
And so then the steam from the shower, and then you
yeah.
can kind of just wipe it. And
Right.
but
Noise.
anyway,
A lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff young men need to know today.
it was good stuff. I feel like a lot of this can just be taken into anybody's daily life. This is good stuff.
Right.
Well, and the last number one on here is take all advice with a grain of salt.
You know,
There you go.
that's just it. Is you can listen to everybody's opinion and advice. It doesn't mean you have to actually take it and use it.
Right.
You know, so one I always get in trouble for is like my mom will always try and help us parent our kids. And we kind of have to work together and say, you know what, I appreciate your advice and your opinion. I might use it, I might not. I'm going to teach my kids how I want to teach them. But
We'll take it under consideration.
right.
That brings up
Bring
a
it
good
to the
one. We
board.
should do another one of these, but come to the table with a bunch of parenting tips
Okay.
for like.
I'll
you
have,
know,
like, all both
new
of mine.
fathers.
Right.
Bad parenting tips.
Dude, there are so many that I have learned along the way. It's freaking crazy.
Parent hacks.
But
Yeah.
There you go.
alrighty. Well, this was fun. This was a good one. I'm glad we stayed on it and found some good stuff. But like we always say, let's hear your comments. If you guys got any life hacks, little tips for any gender for that matter, doesn't have to be men. Let's hear about them. It's good stuff. Please, if you've listened this much, give us a like, subscribe. If you want to keep hearing more of us, we have something for the whole family. Yeah, thanks so much for being part of this crowd, and we'll see you next week.
Au revoir.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.